right. So, Mpume Ncube-Daka. My full name is Mpume, but don't ever call me Mpume. Yeah, so my father will be shouting at me when I don't call that. And I've been in and out of, so my working experience is more than 20 years. Been in and out of corporate in that. And every time I've gone back to corporate, I've been reminded why I left in the first place. But I'm still in corporate. So I still have my 9 to 5. And it's great because it's something that I love doing. But in the midst of this, I've actually discovered that as a person, you can have multi-passions, and it's okay to have them, you know. And the big thing about me that I've also discovered is I love spending time in the career that I enjoy. So being at work just for the sake of paying the bills, it just doesn't fly, because you're miserable. You're just doing it to pay those bills. You are literally, you're just like a walking zombie. And my line is, life is too short to be in toxic environments, to be in miserable spaces. So I'm very clear. So I've changed careers in my more than 20 years of work. And so I'm an introvert, but Katie interviewed me about this a few weeks ago. And she was like, but are you? But you're not shy. I'm like, no, I'm not shy, but I am an introvert. But I've discovered, there's a part of me that is a rebel, but very in just my beliefs and in way I do things, but I won't scream and shout about them, but it's just that kind of vibe. And that I realized started very early in my life. So when I was in high school, story with my dad was, Dad, I'm going to be a doctor. This was just done. It was a done deal, and this was what was going to happen. And I'd grown up in a hospital environment. So my mom was a nurse, Dad was a plumber in this hospital. So what's the next thing that you do? Doctor, become a nurse, that kind of thing. But doctor was like this thing. And I started school very early. So I started school when I was like 3 and a half, I get told. But anyway, so all the kids around the area were going to the school. I was the youngest. And parents negotiated that I just accompany the other kids. So I accompanied the other kids. But then I got to school and I did this. I passed and so it was like, oh, you have to move. Oh, you've passed, so you move. So I ended up matriculating at 16, you know. But this traumatizes me now, because now I'm like the eldest in the group. I used to be the youngest. And I'm like, no, how did I get this old? But anyway, that's another story for another day. So when I was in standard 8 back then, which is what, grade 10, I realized that I sucked in maths and science. Maths wasn't as bad, but science was just like horrible. But I excelled in accounting. So now how do I have this conversation with my father that this doctor thing is not going to happen? But at that point, something in me was just like, you are going to have the conversation with him. He either leaves it. He has to find a way to live with it, you know? So I had the conversation. At the school that I was in science, they did science, and then it was either science or you did accounting and history and something, which didn't make sense in my head. I'm like, why am I doing history? And why am I doing this other thing? You know? So then I decided, and this was a Catholic school, and I decided, boarding school, Catholic school, good school. Inkamana is a good school. It still produces 100% results even today. I'm like, I'm done with the school, ma, so you better make a plan. My mother looks at me like, you can't be serious right now. Like, no, I'm not going back. On the basis, no, I need to change subjects. I'm done. Anyway, somehow my parents decide it's okay. And I'm thinking, I don't know, I move. I've got no school the following year, but I'm out. So I moved to stay with my uncle. I go to a township school, guys. It was like, for the first 2 months of the following year, we're waking up going to school, but we're not doing anything. And I'm like, I don't come from this. I didn't come on the first day. You've got books, you're in class, things are happening. And I'm like, okay. 2 months went by of waking up and going to school, but there was nothing was happening. Anyway, then my other aunt discovers that I've got into the school, but nothing much is happening, and she stays in Mlazi, and she's like, there's a good school for you, Mlazi Commercial. So these are all commercial subjects. Great, perfect. So I move, I get there, and I get told, you've never done most of the commercial subjects that we're doing here. Economics, business economics. So you better repeat standard 8. Oh shit. Okay. Anyway, embraced it, repeated standard 8, and well, it was all good. So moved out, ended up, we all thought we'd be chartered accountants. That's all that we knew in the commercial school. 2 people in my class became chartered accountants because we all discovered that I deregistered when I was doing accounting 3 at varsity. I was like, there's no way I'm doing this, and I'm completed. So, but I've been able to be very much in touch with my emotions and what is it that I want to do to be able to make the decision. Very difficult decision about my life, about my life and career and all these things. Now I look back, now that I'm a career transition coach or career coach, whatever you want to call me, I kind of fit in between. I look back and I'm like, now I realize why I changed jobs, like careers so many times. Now I've got something that's credible that I can talk about. And what is critical for me is the fact that says it is doable. Because what happens is people freak out. They think this is the end of the world. They don't know how to go through the process. And it's just like, I can't. And then you're stuck in this world where you hate whatever that you're doing, but you can't move yourself forward and you don't think it's possible. And I think for me, it's the part that says, it is possible, I've done it, a whole lot of other people have done it, so there's a way, and we can all guide you. Lucy's here, she was talking about it, and the bulk of it is in our heads. The fact that you start believing that you can't do it is the first thing. So I'm at university, I'm sponsored by Unilever, best company that you could think of to work for and stuff. I get out of school, I've got an accounting job. What has happened? I deregistered accounting too. Like, oh, okay. Like, what's this all about? Anyway, I was great in my accounting job, but I had to sit and have a good conversation with myself that said, are you willing to do this for the rest of your life? And the glaring answer was no. Because what did it mean? It meant that I would work with numbers 100% of the time. And it meant that I just don't have a personality. I'm just like in this, like me and my computer. And you know how accountants are. I think now accountants are a bit funky, but there's just like the structure of being an accountant. So I was clear this wasn't happening for me. Decided I wasn't going to do this for the rest of my life. I was good at it. Decided I wasn't going to do it. Then now the question becomes, but I made the decision. And the minute I made the decision, now I look back. I was at Nestle by that time. I had moved out of Unilever. A friend of mine calls me and says to me, there's a marketing job. And I'm like, marketing job? It's like, I think you'll be great at it. I'm like, okay, great. Because I think I had already decided that I was done with accounting. This marketing job comes up. I go and do an interview. These people are clear that I've never done this. And they say to me, please draft a marketing strat for us and we'll take it from there. Give me a week, I go away, I draft the marketing strat. I come back, I got the job. And what it boiled down to me showcasing my skills and my strengths that I was bringing into that job. But the fact that I had made the decision and I was clear what were those skills and what was those strengths that I was bringing into the job, and I believed that I could actually do that job. even if I had never done it from a bar of soap. There was a huge part of me that said, you can do this. You've seen people do it. Like, what is the big deal? And my line is always, and I don't want to undermine people, but like when I went and did my learners, my line was, if taxi drivers can do their learners and drive, like serious. And for me, I know that has a bit, it's like you're undermining people. But there's that thing that I always look at it and I go, but this person has done it. So why can't I do that? Why would that stop me from being able to do it?
But did they really do it? Those taxi drivers?
I don't know. That's another question. But I believe that they did, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. But they can drive.
They can drive, you know? So in my career, as I've changed, so I was in finance, I moved out of finance, moved into marketing. When I was in marketing, I was getting phone calls of people saying, we've got a job for you in accounting. And I'm like, I don't care. You could be paying me millions. I don't care. I don't want to see that, you know? Because I was clear that I was done with that part of my life. Moved out of marketing and literally got out of, I even started a company in marketing. So I did a marketing consulting for like 4 years. And then at some point decided, you know what, maybe I want to go back to corporate. No, I did not decide that I wanted to go back to corporate. There was just kind of a friend of mine who kept calling me about this job. And I went for the interview. And it was 2008, you know, when the rent was just dipping. And you're sitting there, and my husband also decided to go into business. And I'm one person who needs security. Mm-hmm. Like, I need to know that money is flowing on a monthly basis, and we're okay, you know? I go for this interview, and this friend of mine had been on my case. It's like, but this is your job, and I keep going, leave me alone. Anyway, finally gave me my CV, I go for this interview. First interview, I'm like, I get called for the second interview. Second interview, I was trying to get hold of her not to go for the interview because I was clear that I am not prepared to go back to corporate. Like, this corporate thing, I am not going back. I can't get hold of this woman. Like, Lolo, where are you? Because I'm thinking she might just make an excuse that I'm sick or whatever. But now, the minute I don't get hold of her, the reality is that it's my name on the blog. Mm. You don't pitch for your interview. What does that say? You know? Go for the interview. Messed it up on purpose. Literally, the energy was not there. I was not interested. I literally said like this, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. And walked out. And she calls me and she says, what happened? I'm like, I don't know, but I don't want the job. I don't want to go back to corporate. Few weeks later, I think it was 3 weeks later, she calls me. And I knew exactly what I'd messed up. Like, I could tell you exactly what I'd messed up. She calls me and she says, they did references on you, they want you. I'm like, what? Like, they did reference on you, they want to see you. I'm like, okay. Now I'm being real. I'm like, the economy is going a bit haywire. Marketing budgets are getting cut. You're still okay. But those limiting beliefs started cropping in to go, things might just go pear-shaped, you know? Maybe you do need to get a job. Anyway, I go for the interview, and they asked me what happened. I told them exactly what happened. I'm like, you asked me this question, and this was the answer that I should have given you. You asked me this question, and this was the answer I should have given you. And you asked me this question, and this was the answer I should have given you. And they looked at me like, wow, why? I was like, at that point in time, I didn't think I wanted this job. Maybe even now I don't. But just for my own reputation and sanity, I'm here and I'm making it right. You can either still give me the job if you want or not. I walked up. By the time I got home, I had a call that you've got the job. It was like, oh yeah, okay. Anyway, this was marketing. Went there, did great, and then went on maternity leave and never went back.
Then
I decided,
you know those ones in the company?
Yeah, decided I'm staying with my baby, life is good, and then at some point I thought, okay, I want to get back into corporate. But I was clear that I was done with marketing. I'd done it for more than 15 years, and it was like, okay, now, what's the next thing? I took time to literally go through what is the next thing that I would love to do. I took time to say, which companies would I like to work for? Literally was that precise. Which companies do I want to work for? What do I want to do? What kind of environment do I want to be in? What contribution do I want to make to this business? Like, all that was very clear. And went into LinkedIn, contacted people, got responses, CEOs, like people that maybe I met once. And I'm thinking, whether he knows me or not, we'll figure it out along the way. Anyway, ended up with a great job in strategy. And yeah, it's been great. In the midst of me being in that, in fact, in the first year when I got in that role, my boss then signs me up for a course at Gibbs. I attend the course. It's a leading women course. It's got a lot of group coaching. And I'd only done coaching once, but there was group coaching and it was really touching me. And then in the midst of all this, everybody's like, have you ever considered being a coach? No. But something was talking to me about this thing. And then that's the time when I actually found what my purpose is. And my purpose in this life is to teach other people. My purpose in this life is to share my wisdom. My purpose in this life is to guide people through those difficult decisions when it comes to careers. And that's the thing that... So I do these coaching sessions either weekends or in the evenings. I'll have a client at 6 as I get home. And I'll be like walking in all flustered, like, but the minute I do this, I'm just like, oh yeah, let's start. And there's energy that I don't know where it comes from.
From purpose.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll be doing this thing. And initially I started with people not paying me. And, but then I thought, I had to have some sessions with the Busi of like, no. Money has to come. And it's not just about you're giving. Because you're giving your time and people don't value it sometimes. So that's how I've transitioned into the coaching thing. It's the thing that I will do any day, at any point in time. It's my retirement plan. But within that, I've also discovered all the other things that I love. I've put out in the universe that I love. So one of the other things I've decided that I've always wanted to do is to be a lecturer. So I've put it out there, and what is the first thing that has happened? So I did an alignment course with this last year.
Magic course.
That's a magic course. Because out of the things that I listed on the goals that I wanted to do, I think I've ticked nearly 10 of those things. And one of them was positioning myself into getting lecturing jobs. Currently, as I sit, I'm a supervisor for MBA students at Gibbs. That for me was just like, wow, take, you know what I mean? The other thing I wanted to do a course to be a certified director so that you can sit on boards. I had no money for it. I had no idea how I was going to do this. I went and spoke to my boss. It's got nothing to do with my job. And he was like, oh yeah, I'll pay for you. I was like, oh cool. And that's exactly what happened with my coaching thing. My boss was like, I'll pay for you. Not a problem. It's got nothing to do with my work. But all those things are happening. So I think for me, it's the fact that we all have different passions on different things. And you can be able to do all of them and be fulfilled. Because I think the reality of people walking around as zombies because they're doing things that they hate traumatizes me. It really traumatizes me. So up until you discover those things that you're passionate about, things that interest you, where you've got skills, I think there's always an opportunity to make something out of it and make sure that you wake up and there's a step. So I run a course where I say, how do you find a fulfilling career and look forward to Mondays? Because I'm clear, when the Monday is like the Sunday I'm traumatized, then I'm done. I'm clear that I'm done. I'm not waking up, I'm not going to that place, and I'm not doing anything. So yeah, so that's my short version of my story because we don't have time.